Hi. Hey. Hello.
You're laughing at me.
No!
Yeah, you are.
It's Sunny, and this is going to be a very personal video for me as this is honestly one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm not joking, this is like actually top 5 material. It's that damn good. You have to know about this film. No, like, come on. I know you fucking kids are on your phones with your little TikTok attention spans and shit, but you at least know of this film, right? right. Please tell me. Please tell me you know what it is. Yeah, this film is iconic and a goddamn masterpiece. Alright, that's it. That's the end of the video, so be sure to like and subscribe. Nah, I'm just kidding. I mean, I think we all know this film is a classic, yet my job is to explore and see why is it so damn good. This is... Without further ado, let's get schooled and emotionally explore why The Breakfast Club is a timeless masterpiece. Of course, legendary filmmaker John Hughes, yes, him again. Guys, I wasn't joking. This dude knows his shit when it comes to teenagers. He's a real one. Originally, the film was going to be titled The Lunch Bunch, but changed it to The Breakfast Club due to a friend from another school having his detention class be called that. Even though I don't know why detention class has to have a name for, but okay, different times I guess. He wrote the script around the time of his directorial debut, 16 Candles, which impressed that film's studio executives, so they made that film first. Eventually, the entire cast was formed. Anthony Michael Hall taking the role of Brian, and Molly Ringwald getting the role of Claire, after begging to play the role, which both worked on 16 Candles together. The role of Allison would land on Ali Sheedy. Emilio Estevez was originally going to portray Bender until being recast to Andrew due to nobody fitting the role, and eventually Judd Nelson would get Bender after many struggles to find the right actor, and thus the film was shot and released, becoming the iconic film we all know today. Yet, why is it so damn good?
Say, son, how'd you like to go fishing this weekend?
This film is just so damn clever in every single layer of itself. The overall simple production design, just experience this kid's adventure in Saturday school all in one location, and how much the film can do with its own premise and execute it to a T is downright brilliant. It just feels so alive and surreal. I mean, I don't know about you all, but I've been in situations like this when I was in school, and it truly does feel like a grounded adventure kids would go through in high school. I mean, hell, just even the overall costuming is so detailed. I mean, just look at all their clothes, and it just represents their persona so well. With Brian's simplistic clothing, Bender's overcomplication, Claire's pink girly aesthetic, Allison's full black gray goth look, and Andrew's simple hoodie and athlete-esque clothes. Shit like this goes far beyond the standard film's narrative, and it's great. The licensed song of Don't You Forget About Me is a great utilization of expressing the film's core, and even the subtle composition displayed throughout are effective enough to set in the right mood. In its cinematography, the film is simplistic and yet very subtle of how creative it portrays itself, how the framing always knows when to really enhance the character's expression and overall emotion in interactions and exchanges, or just letting all their frustration out, with the editing knowing just when to cut back and forth and around to every single focus of a scene. The film also just knows how to make us, the audience, feel included, like we're just there alongside the kids at the school, just from the overall placement of the camera, and it's great. The film just knows that simplicity and subtlety help convey top-tier filmmaking that is quite thoughtful and fantastic, alongside
Eat my shorts.
This film only has 7 characters, really 5 as our core cast, and the parents, which are entirely off-screen and yet have such a presence in the story. Let's go individually. Obviously, the oldie-like adult in the film, Mr. Vernon, who's just a complete and total dickhead and is excellently acted. He's just this scumbag asshole adult we've all met when we were kids, thinking he's so superior and clearly has no respect for us, you know? Yet he works as the ultimate foil for the kids that the gang must find their way around to have some fun, and he serves his role well, and even has some depth with his overall fear of the future of society and his real outlook onto the kids. Then there's the janitor. He's just cool, you know, just there. Janitors are always chill. Then we have the core ragtag group of kids, the film's entire focus. The basket case, Allison.
Fine, forget it. Everything's cool.
What's the deal?
No. There's no deal, Sporto. Forget it. Leave me alone.
She's just the best, dude. Like, she's just goofy as hell and a weirdo, but I like that. I mean, we've all known people like this in school, am I right? The shy, non-social, independent, kind of freaky, and yet kind of cool person always in the back just existing. Her character is just so fascinating and generally great, especially with how she unfolds across the film, starting off being all to herself, but slowly embracing the group as the film goes on and eventually embracing herself. The princess, Claire.
God, you're so pathetic. Don't you ever compare yourself to me, okay? You got everything, and I got shit. Fucking Rapunzel, right? School would probably fucking shut down if you didn't show up.
The popular girl we've all known. From the outside, she could be perceived two ways, either as a total selfish bitch, or a girl who the entire world centers around. That if she didn't go to school one day, the whole place would just shut down. But deep down, she has a lot of feelings and emotions. Deep inside, she's just got a lot of normal, ordinary girl frustrations that humanizes her. The criminal, John.
You threatening me?
What are you gonna do about it? You think anybody's gonna believe you? You think anybody is gonna take your word over mine? I'm a man of respect around here. They love me around here. I'm a swell guy. You're a lying sack of shit, and everybody knows it.
The guy we always felt sorry for in class. Yep. Growing up in school, I've had this kid a million times in my class. The kid who was always fucking around, getting in trouble, seemed to always starve for attention, always getting detention, that kind of rhymes, suspended, or hell, even expelled. And though we perceive him as just an asshole, in reality there's always so much more sorrow and depth to the story than meets the eye. The brain, Brian.
And Lois.
It's kind of now just realizing Brain and Brian, that's kind of clever. Anywho, the dorky kid we always look down upon. Again, every school is filled with this kid, or hell, kids. The guy who's always a good sport, kissing the teacher's ass, straight A's, and doesn't know when to catch social cues, and therefore we look down upon them. Yet, we may not understand that maybe they want to be a part of the conversation. The athlete, Andrew.
Woo!
The jock. I mean, how else can I describe him? The guy who plays by the rules, but not like Brian. Plays by rules because he feels he must. He can't think for himself. He always must be whoever his dad shapes him up to be, instead of being himself and living by his own standards. All these characters take these high school stereotypes we all know well, not just from media, but just real life too. Social cliques, your reputation, who you are, and yet goes deeper and gets real with it. Best portrayed with the... What can I say? No, like seriously, like what can I say? There's not much I can actually say. This film doesn't really have a plot, like at all, and yet it's great because, like Ferris Bueller, The Breakfast Club has a simple setup and uses it not to create a story, yet to further explore the characters internally and therefore leave an emotional feeling onto us once the credits roll, without requiring much of a story at all. The film kicks off with these entirely different set of individual teenagers trapped in Saturday school, all for various reasons that fit with their characters. Claire, skipping school because she thought she could get away with it due to her social status. Andrew, doing a terrible prank to live up to the standards of his old man and going too far. John, pulling the fire alarm, probably for attention. Brian, bringing a flare gun, showcasing his inner depression and stressful nature. And Allison, because fuck it, why not? They're all pretty much enemies, living by their social norms and clique rules, not wanting to interact with each other. Yet the day brings them together over the course of the film, being a bunch of teens coexisting to eventually a group of emotionally bonded friends, despite their differences, acknowledge that and still have grown to care about each other, due to seeing how deep down, they're all just kids figuring shit out and fearing for the future. John learning to let people in, Allison learning to be herself, even though I'm 50-50 on the makeup look, but I think it's more goth bias. You know, I kind of think, you know, it's supposed to showcase how from the outside, oh, this girl's shy or whatever, nothing special about her, but deep inside she's really beautiful, even though she was beautiful before. Anywho, Andrew learning to live to his own standards, Brian learning to not beat himself up too much, and Claire learning to acknowledge her pain and be down with the people. Yet, in general, as a film, this film represents more than just realistic and believable teenagers that still hold up today, or being revolutionary for breaking genre standards and archetypes. It's showcasing the raw truth that we are all the Breakfast Club, not just individually. We are every single one of these characters. Fuck it, we were, maybe still are these characters to this very day. We were all looked down upon. We were all wishing to be up to our parents' expectations. We were all abused by social pressures. We were all too afraid to embrace our inner selves. And we were all too afraid to let people in because of the outcome that could come and being hurt all over again. Despite the fact that deep inside, we are still hurting no matter what. The beauty of this film comes from the truth that we are all a brain, a princess, an athlete, a basket case, and a criminal. We are, or were, teenagers. We are all human, and we are all alive. We are the Breakfast Club. I hope you guys enjoy my analysis of this film. I put a lot of passion into this. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I hope you love the film just as much as I do. This film still holds up and probably will be forever timeless, not for its subtle filmmaking, rich character writing, or deep storytelling, yet its reveal of the truth that we are all young inside and still figuring out our place in the world, and that we are all truly alive, that we need to learn to accept we're only human. It's been Sunny, and so long. Farewell and goodbye.
Just because you've only been alive for 15 years doesn't mean you're any less anything except old. That's all it means. Doesn't mean you're less experienced necessarily. It doesn't mean you're less intelligent. It doesn't mean you're less sensitive. It doesn't mean you're taking things less. Younger human beings. Meaning, don't, because they're only 10, start thinking that they don't know what you're talking about. Because they do. Don't leave people out in the cold. Don't. And don't talk down to people. Don't. It never works out.
We accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. And you see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms, with the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain and an athlete
And a basket case. A princess.
and a criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.
Don't